Good morning, everybody. I hope we're all doing good. Happy Wednesday. It's my last day of being off work. Tomorrow, the real marathon starts again. And I was just passing by to have a brief conversation with all of us in the hope that we can all pick and learn a thing or two. In the last couple days, maybe a bit more, there's been this conversation that has been done its rounds on social media. A lot of people have had a lot to say about it, and I just wanted to explain things from my perspective. There's this woman who is a motivational speaker. She is a marriage counselor. She's a pastor. She has her own following, her own church, everything. And she'd been married for almost 2 decades herself. A while back, she had granted an interview to one of the big influencers in the television and media space. An interview talking about marriage and relationships and her take on divorce. And she specifically said that she doesn't believe in divorce and she believes in people working out their marriages. And, if it comes down to it and, maybe you're being DV'd in your relationship, then, you can make that decision at that point. But even then, when you've decided to separate and eventually get divorced because things can't be sorted out, nobody should marry somebody else's husband or wife. That could be interpreted in so many different ways. But the reason why I've turned on my camera this morning is that to get married and to decide after being with your spouse, whether it's 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, 50 years, 20 years, that you choose to be alone. You're choosing to end the marriage. You're choosing to not be with this person anymore. People think it's some kind of an easy decision that people make. But I'm here to tell you, as somebody who has been divorced myself, that it can be your absolute worst nightmare. But sometimes you just don't have no other choice in the matter. There is no sane person, unless of course you're a witch or there's something wrong with your senses. I don't know any sane human being who is being treated like a partner, whether it's a wife or a husband, who is being loved, treated like a partner. You're in a partnership with somebody. You're happy. You're at peace with yourself. Your dreams are being realized. You're supporting and complementing each other in a relationship where there is trust, there's respect, there ain't no cheating, the children are being looked after. Like you have a happy home. Who will choose that divorce is what I want? There must be something wrong with your brain for you to decide that that is the alternative that you want instead of being married. So I just want us to understand that it takes a lot for somebody to say that divorce is the only answer that they have. Divorce is the only way out for them. Now, the reason why this has made the headlines on social media is that after this woman said everything that she said, she doesn't believe in divorce, blah, blah, blah. She herself is now divorced. And a year later, she's married to somebody else. And so all the people that were there that witnessed her interview some time back are asking questions. Were you not the same person that said you didn't believe in divorce and that working it out is the way out? So why didn't you work your own out? 1, 2. You said that when people split up, nobody should marry them. So when you also broke up from your marriage, you were also somebody's wife before. Why are you married to somebody else? And people are upset about it. People are asking all questions and saying that people on social media, influencers, and people who are out there giving advice, nobody should listen to them or us because we say one thing and we do the exact opposite of that thing. All I can tell you this morning is this. I am not in your marriage. You are the only person that knows how much that flame is stewing and burning your nyash. I can never, ever know what is going on really in your marriage, but you. Only you, not me. There's a lot of advice out there, and there will always be about everything. Let me tell you something. The same food that we need to grow, I am sure that I've read in, articles and journals that say that eating eggs is not a good thing. It gives you high cholesterol. It can make you sick. It can make you this. It can make you that. And then you go and read other journals, and the same eggs that they're telling you is not good for you, somebody else has also researched it. Oh, actually, eggs are fantastic. The yolks are like this, and the egg whites do that. The same eggs. You eat meat now. Somebody will tell you, oh, meat is not good for you. It gives you this. You can get whatever. And next thing, they're telling you meat is actually good for you. It does this to your muscle. Meat is good for you. You can eat a lot of protein. There are all kinds of diets, even these days. The focus on people solely eating proteins and maybe some vegetables. And that's all they eat. They don't eat no carbs. And people swear that those diets are the best ones to make you lose weight, if that's what you're seeking to achieve. So in this life, there'll be all kinds of advice that is given. But at the end of the day, you have this thing here to be able to discern and pick which kind of advice is good for you. What fits into your senses and makes sense to you to apply to your own life. And then make that decision whether this is going to be good for me or this is not going to be good for me. It's as simple as that. I'm not proud to sit here to say that I'm a divorcee. There's nothing nice about that. Oh, you know what? I got married and then, and I got a divorce. There is nothing exciting about that whole process for me and for whoever I was married to either. It takes a lot for somebody to decide that, I just need this thing to stop. I can't do it anymore. And divorce is the answer for me. Maybe somebody may not see it that way, but you are the only one that is sitting in your fire. And only you know how much it is burning you. Anybody can say anything. You think my parents were excited when I told them, I don't want to be married anymore? They were laughing. Oh, yeah, my daughter says she doesn't want to be married anymore. No, they weren't. They wanted to do everything humanly possible for that marriage to stand the test of time. It just didn't. And I wanted out. So we were done. Whatever the reasons were, best known to me. And I intend to keep it that way. But the point I'm making here this morning is that there isn't any sane human being born of a man and a woman who will sit there one day without anything wrong with them and just get up one day and say, I don't want to be married anymore. Marriage is not a good thing. I just want a divorce. It takes a lot for somebody to get to that point where you just know this thing, there's just not going to be no end in sight. And this is just the best outcome for everybody. And people have different reasons why they decide that that is the best course of action for them. Another thing that I want to say is that sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes a lot of things happen. Some people marry very young. They don't even know their own self, not to talk of the other person. But they are seeing everybody marrying. So, it's like a fashion. Everybody is wearing Gucci. So me too, let me wear some. And you're also marrying. You were never ready for the commitment of marriage. You never even understood what marriage meant. You are just doing it because everybody is doing. So me too, let me do some. A lot of people in their 20s, that is just it. Oh, I went to school with Sister Ellen and Sister Pat and Sika and Amma and Essie. And all these people are married. So me too, let me marry some. A lot of us are caught on by, you know, the whole euphoria of that one wedding day, thinking that that is how the whole marriage is going to be. The 10 page boys, the 10 bridesmaids, the flower girls, the groomsmen, the bridesmaids, the you know, the lady of honor or whatever, matron of honor or whatever we call them. We get excited, the best man. We get excited about all of those things. And that is what informs our decision about wanting to be married. Sister Ellen, And that is what informs our decision. And so, you know, we get excited about how many people are going to be there and how everybody's eyes is going to be on you. The wedding dress, the rings, the veil, all of that. And then once all of this is done and the dust settles, now is the real marriage. You go home, the doors are shut. People get excited. Today, the honeymoon is not going to be something small. We've gone to Victoria's Secret. We've bought all this nice lingerie. But I can tell you on good authority that a lot of people finish that wedding, even that wedding night, for several nights after that, nothing happens. You're just both so exhausted and so tired for everything that you have done. Some of you, it's all about the expenses that you could ill afford, but because of somebody else's pressure and what people will say, you did look face and went to do something that you couldn't afford. And now you're lying on the bed when you should be, you know, doing the do with your wife or your husband. You can't, because the pair of you are lying there and you know that you owe $50,000. You owe 50,000 Ghana cedi. You haven't even paid the chef that cooked at the reception. You still owe people money. The people that put the canopies, you only gave them, you know, the initial balance. You haven't paid the rest of it. And that is enough to make people not even feel like doing any mama and papa type of business anywhere. The Bula Matali is not even doing anything. It's just sleeping, because the stress of the things that are coming ahead is already enough to end the marriage before it started. You meet somebody, you don't even know them. Oh, he has a handsome face. He's 6-pack, you know, he looks very nice. And you're marrying niceness. You haven't seen the character, what the person is like. You're marrying niceness, 6-pack. Only to find that that 6-pack was prepared for you so that you'll be getting woto in the marriage without even knowing that that is what you're getting yourself into. There's so many reasons why people get into a marriage and finally decide that it's my life versus this marriage. Which one do I love better? And so I'm quitting. I'm leaving. I can't do this anymore. And leaving is the only solution that makes sense. It takes a lot for people to decide that. Take it from somebody who knows. Look, who in their right frame of mind will be married to somebody, have a bunch of children with this same person, and still say, you know what, I just want to be by myself? Deny your children a father or a mother. How many people, like, what will actually push somebody to that level of a decision making? What? It's not that easy, you know. It's not that easy. If a lady who sang Ekueme, if she had the guts to rise up and say, you know what, I'm fed up with this bollocks, I'm leaving, today she'll still be alive and we'll be listening to her ministering to us with all her wonderful, amazing songs that bring chills to your spine. But she's passed on. There's so many people like her that were DV'd in their relationship. Last year, there was this girl called Bimbo. She died. They set herself ablaze. Some people said it was the spouse that set her ablaze. Some other people said she was the one who set herself ablaze herself and got stuck in the ablazing. And she's not here anymore. They had 5 children. The whole relationship was just full of DV. Some people have managed to flee with their lives. Other people have not been so lucky. Barbara Tommy, I haven't forgotten about her. That lady that was a wife to a so-called pastor in Florida. Young, beautiful girl with her whole life ahead of her. She also has gone to be with the Lord. Do you know how her parents and her siblings are feeling? And there's so many people like them that haven't even have the mouth to even say anything. And what is so sad today that I'm finding is that there are a lot of ministers of the gospel, both men and women, that are experiencing DV in their marriages. But they're the same people that have the loudest microphones to tell other people to keep their homes and their marriages. How can they now come out and tell all of us that, their marriages have been nothing but a charade, and so, they're leaving? And so a lot of people are sitting in marriages that they're not happy in. They're not comfortable. They wish they could scream, but they can't because of the people that they are. Because everybody has come to love them. Because everybody has come to like them. And so before you know it, you've heard that somebody has gone to be with the Lord and it doesn't make any sense. How is this person no more? And now all the deep secrets start revealing themselves. This is what was actually going on. This was what was really happening. This is why these people are not together anymore. And now we're all here saying, oh my God, why didn't they just leave? Why did they have to stay? But be honest with yourself. There are some of us here, if our pastors and the pastor's wife tell you today that they are not together anymore, you will quit the church. Because how can somebody who is divorced be preaching to me? That is us. We are so judgy of other people and what is going on in other people's homes. I like what my sister Benedicta said. Nobody enters marriage to divorce. But if you're dying, it's better to jackpot from the marriage. Thank you so much, my darling. There are so many people who are 6 foot under today who should have jackpot from their marriage ages ago. But because of what people like you and I would say, they chose to stay. And they paid the ultimate price for it. And it's not even everybody who even goes to be with the Lord. There are some people who, I remember through this Christmas, I was watching a movie and it had to do with this DV stuff. And the woman said in the movie that she prefers the husband to do the physical stuff, with the hand or whatever, belt, whatever, to her, than to be verbally, abusive to her. Because at least if she gets the slaps and whatever and she has a cut or a wound, she can nurse that to health. But when this man is nasty and says all those nasty things to her, she can't even get the things that he said out of her head. It plays in her mind like a broken record. I'm telling you, there's so many ministers of the gospel, women, men. It's not only women who are DV'd in relationships, men also, some of them. And because it's so shameful, they can't even talk about it. And they are all just there being silent. Let me just do it. This thing now, nobody will understand. Ekueme stuck in that thing because, I'm a minister of the gospel. Maybe nobody will even listen to my music anymore if I quit this charade of a marriage. But me, I would have taken her any day to be alive and be singing for all of us than what has happened. Now, she is no more. Her husband is in jail. The children are all over the place. We don't even know whether they are able to even take good care of them. Where is the money going to come from to look after these kids who are themselves, unfortunately, also destroyed by the things that they were allowed to witness? Sometimes it's better for the children to be kept safe, for their mental health, for them to understand that this is not how real relationships are supposed to be. and gets them into safety than allowing them to sit and soak in all the toxins that awful marriages give to children. All these broken men that we are always lamenting over, the men that go on to become all these things, the monsters in our homes. How do we think they came about? They are byproducts of seeing their parents, their papa and their uncle doing the same thing to their mothers and grandfathers and great-grandmothers. It's why we have this thing going on from one generation to the next. That's why. My darling, there is nobody born of a man or a woman in their right senses that will say that I'm happily married. My husband supports my dreams. My husband allows me to do what I want to do. I can work. I can enjoy my life. We are partners in the marriage. He respects me. I respect him. We are partners. We share everything together. That will say, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be married anymore. Unless there's something fundamentally wrong here. I don't know anybody who will pick that. And being divorced in our society, it's like having leprosy. I'm telling you. It is worse than having HIV. Being divorced, especially being divorced and being a woman. Hey, good luck to you. It is like, there's something wrong with you. You're not right. And people judge you for who you are. You couldn't even, simple thing like marriage, you couldn't even do it. You couldn't even make your own marriage work. What shows you can be a good partner? What shows that you can even run a business? Do you know that there are certain people who have all the educational qualifications, the years of working experience, and they can be good, great women and men of industry, but especially women. And just because they are divorced, or they are even not married to begin with, they are not even given titles and positions on that basis. If you can't sit and tolerate the bull crap from somebody else, you're not good enough to run a company. Decisions are being made on that basis. Where are we going? But I'll tell you any day that at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it is better for you to be alive and in good health than to be married and 6 foot under. Come and crucify me. Yeah, I don't care. My mouth is as big as it is. I don't give a toss. You don't pay me. I don't pay you. I will just say it as it is. It is better, my sister, for you to stay alive and well than to be 6 foot under in the name of marriage. Some stupid marriage. It is better for you to be alive, my sister. This life is beautiful and amazing. Yeah. It is beautiful and it is amazing. And as somebody that's on the 4th floor, and this thing only happened to me when I actually got on the 4th floor. I didn't understand when people are talking about, peace of mind, peace of mind, peace of mind. I'm like, what is this whole thing? Until I got to the, now I understand fully. Trust me, there is nothing. No monetary value that you can place on peace of mind. Peace of mind. And so if you're sitting in a marriage, I don't care whether you're a man or a woman, you're being disrespected. You're being treated like trash. You are not given any peace of mind in your home. Me, I cannot tell you to come and leave your marriage, but you have this thing. Use it. You have this thing. Use it. How can you be in a marriage with somebody who purports to love you? And all that this person is doing is sucking the living daylight out of you in the name of love. What kind of love is that? My parents love me dearly. I am a very big daddy's girl. I'm not even going to hide it. And I haven't ever experienced any type of love from my dad or my mom that hurts. Love is supposed to be a beautiful thing. It's supposed to make you feel good. Do you know that some time back, I was actually talking to one of my distant relatives, and she told me something that I am still recovering from. She said, and I quote, the best times of her marriage is when she pushes her husband and insults him and does all the things that he doesn't like, to the point that the man uses his hand and belts and all kinds of things on her. And then after giving her a good woto, he'll now come and bend down and apologize to her while she's crying. You know, he'll be pampering her and telling you, baby, I'm sorry. You know, it is you. If you didn't push me, I wouldn't do that to you, and all of that. And then when they finish doing all that nonsense, then he sleeps with her. And the feeling that comes with the sleeping with her is out of this world. I almost slapped her myself. But that is what she told me. That is what she enjoys the most about her marriage. I was shocked to hear that. But guess what? It wasn't the first time I heard it after that. I've heard at least 3 or 4 other people tell me the same thing that this lady was telling me. I push him so much till he gets so furious. And then he hits me. He hits me so much. And after he's done all of that to me, then now he come and bend down and tell, baby, I'm so sorry. Baby, I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have made me do it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then out of all of that, now they do mama and papa, and it has the best feeling ever. She has the best orgasms from that kind of a relationship. If you are not crazy, I don't know what else to describe you as. And there are so many of my sisters that are going through this kind of thing and calling it marriage, calling it relationship. Sometimes things happen to you so much that you actually start telling yourself that it's your fault that the man is using his hand against you. These days, there are so many guys that have all kinds of crazy, demonic things in their head. A friend of mine told me that she went onto a dating site looking for somebody to, have a relationship with. They talked, they went out to dinner a few times, and then, she felt comfortable enough, and the guy invited her over, and she went over for dinner. They had dinner, they had a good time and everything, and now the guy is starting to make advances at her. But he said something that made my friend walk out of that apartment and blocked him immediately. He said, the thing that he loves the most about the relationship with any woman is that he wants, when you're lying there and you're doing the do, he wants to, whilst he's in you, he wants to hold your neck and strangle you to the point of you're almost becoming lifeless. And then he will let you go, and then you gasp for so much air and all of that. And he gets his euphoria and orgasm from that struggle, that thing of, watching you scramble, scratch him, wanting to kick back, that whole thing. It's what gives him, the extra drive to keep pounding you. And that's what gives him his release. I don't know what to say to that. There are some crazy people out there. There is some craziness out there. But all I'm saying this morning is that, thank you so much, Empress. Thank you. I didn't want to say the word, but thank you so much for saying it for me. There are some crazy buggers out there, both men and women. It is your responsibility above all to make sure that you open your eyes in deciding who it is that you're spending the rest of your life with. And those of us who are divorced, I can tell you on good authority that I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would be a divorcee today, but I am. We all go into marriages with the best of intentions. You want it to work out. You can see yourself when you close your eyes as old men and women, and you've lived your life, and you have children, and it's all worked out, and you live happily ever after. But the fact of the matter is that not all of us end up getting that. But me, I choose my life, my peace of mind, my mental health, and my sanity over any kind of marriage. That is my own personal opinion. Right now, if I meet somebody who, can love me for me, not try to change me in any way, because this is me. Anybody who wants to love you and wants to change you does not love you. It's like they're trying to make you into something or somebody that you're not. I am me. You've met me as me. If I met somebody today that was prepared to love me for me, not try to come and give me no rules and regulations. I don't want you on social media. I don't want you to be on Facebook. I don't want you to do this, that, and the other. The person was coming along to be a partner. We are going to be in a partnership, and we're going to love and respect and trust each other. Oh yeah, I'll get married again. However, the person must understand that me, I cannot have children. This is not a secret. If you've been on this platform long enough, I have already said this thing. Like those of you who started this page with me, it's not a secret. I can't have children. So if having children is a thing for you, I am not your person. Don't try to come and, you say you want to accept something and then you be saying all kinds of craziness. I can't have children. End of story. You either take it or you leave it. Take it or leave it. Simple as that. Some of us go into marriages promising all kinds of things. I will do this. Don't repeat myself again. Well, it's just what it is. It is what it is. One thing that you will get on this platform is saying it as it is, because it's the truth. I can't have children. It's as simple as that. I am not going to put my life on the line to please somebody else because they want kids that I can't give them. My body says no. What do you want me to do? I won't do it. So if you want somebody that is a baby-making machine, go and have that. What is your problem? But some of us have gone into relationships where people have told you all kinds of things. I will love you. I will be there for you. Even if you can't have children, it doesn't matter. And then 3, 4, 5, 10 years later, you find that it actually matters. And this man who told you that he doesn't care whether you can give him children or not has actually gone behind you and has a whole new different family somewhere else that you don't know about. What kind of deception is that one? Me, I've laid my cards on the table. I've told you, this is it. It's as simple as that. And so until I find that somebody who is prepared to be with me, regardless, and not treat me as I'm less than because I can't have children, I'm not a normal woman, be looking down on me, pitying me, feeling sorry for me, treating me as if I'm crazy, I am happy to be by myself. I am very happy. I've gotten so comfortable with being by myself. At least I have peace of mind. I'm not getting no woto from anybody. I'm at peace with myself. And it means the most to me right now to be at peace. There are so many of my brothers and sisters who are sitting in marriages and are praying that their spouses will just delete so that they can have some peace. Some of you are even watching. You know it's the truth. In your heart of hearts, you've been praying every day, God, please, when is this man going to just not be here anymore so I can have my peace? When is this woman not going to be here anymore so I can have my peace? You know it. You know. It's the truth. Peace of mind. You can't buy it with any money. My sister Benedicta says, and peace of mind isn't for sale. Thank you so much. Sometimes it is better to be single than to be in a toxic relationship. And I promise you that there's so many ministers of the gospel that are in nothing short of demonic relationship. Demonic relationship. Today there's a pastor. I can't believe my ears. But there's a pastor today that is married with children. They have been happily married for many years. All of a sudden, this man says he doesn't want the front anymore. He wants to enjoy from back door. The wife said no. He said, well, then you have to pack your stuff and leave. The wife was thinking about all the years that they've been together. Eventually, she agreed to backdooring. She thought, oh, it would just be some one-off thing, you know, something that is occasional. Then this backdooring became the main thing. Now he doesn't even want front door anymore. He wants back door 24/7. Morning, afternoon, evening, a back door. A minister of the gospel. So when people who are preachers are doing this, what should the other people do? Those of them that are out there, what should they do? So this guy has been backdooring and backdooring and backdooring, and now this woman got a huge tear down there. And now she starts reeking of fecal matter and stinking. Can't even go anywhere anymore. Has to wear pampers to be able to leave her house. Even when she goes to church, nobody wants to sit close to her because the thing has torn so much that the pee and the fecal matter is all mixed together, combined. And this woman is still in this marriage. Somehow, a doctor comes to the hospital, the church, to come and talk about marriage and some of the issues that arise. And then it went into, you know, mama and papa stuff and how those things and this and that. And as if the man just knew. He was just talking about some of the cases that he's been seeing in his practice. There's so many men now who only want to do backdoor. No prepping, no nothing. They just shove it in and give their wives tests. And that is evil. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, after the church, the woman gathered every last courage that she had and went to the guy who had been given an office for people who want to have one-to-one private consultations with him to be able to have it. So they sat down and the whole room was stinking. So the man, you know, had to examine her to see what was going on. And the man said, when this woman bent over, it is as if it's a manhole. He didn't even have to do anything. You can just by bending over, you can see it. So he called his colleague and said, I'm sending somebody to you. First thing tomorrow morning, she's coming. And she has to have the surgery. It's an emergency. Told the husband that, you know, the wife is very sick. It will cost this amount. He was happy to pay the money. Paid the money, gave the money to the wife. She went to the hospital, had the surgery done. She was kept in there for a few days and brought out. But before she left, the doctor told her that if you go back and there's even one more penetration of that kind of thing there, I'm telling you, this time we can't do anything for you. You should know that you're either going to have a colostomy bag or you're just going to go and follow your ancestors. So you decide. Do you know that, let's say she had been in hospital for 3 days. Today is the day of discharge. She went home. Lying there, not even able to get up. She still has stitches, all kinds of things, the pain and everything. Do you know that nighttime came. And the husband, he came with a whole pack of Vaseline. He rubbed this Vaseline on himself and was holding the rest of it. Hey, madam, you to take some and put it there and let's do it again. Are you mad? And when she refused, he said, pack your things and go. There are other women out there that are happy to give me this thing morning, afternoon, and night. Eventually, this woman packed her bag and baggage with her 3 kids. And that's how she has fled this horrible, abusive relationship. I am telling you that there are so many ministers of the gospel, men and women of God, that are facing atrocities that they can't even talk about because you won't believe them to begin with. And even if you talk about it, Seth, people will start asking all kinds of weird questions. I personally believe that there are a lot of people now who are not straight but are claiming they are straight, if you catch my drift. And why marry if this is who you are? Why? Why should you put somebody's daughter through this? Why? But I'm telling you that a lot of us in our culture, we've been made to believe that marriage is the end all and be all. You have to be married at all costs. Otherwise, you are not good enough. Otherwise, nobody will want you. Otherwise, it is not sensible. Otherwise, on and on and on. But I'm telling you today that it is better for you to be alive and well and single than to go for this. Do you want to have manholes in your back door? Do you? Do you want your back axle to be punctured like these girls in the name of marriage? Is it not better for you to be by yourself and have your peace and sanity than to be married to an animal like that? No feeling, doesn't care whether she hurts or not, whether it hurts or not. He didn't give a toss. He just wanted what he wanted. As simple as that. Some women are really suffering in their marriages only to please their husbands and what society will say. Women ought to know their worth. It's as simple as that. A lot of us have been groomed into thinking that the only reason why God brought us here is so that we can satisfy a man. That's very stupid. I'm sorry. As a woman who was raised in a home full of girls, my father was the only man in my house. He had a wife and 4 daughters. As a woman that was raised in a home full of girls, I can honestly tell you on good authority that that is just bollocks. Because all the things that his sons would have done, if he had sons, his daughters have done it too. They are engineers and lawyers and doctors and army officers and all kinds of people in that same house. And they are all girls too. So my darling, you have to know your worth. Understand that God didn't just bring you here to come and satisfy some man. That is not your sole purpose on the surface of this planet. You're here to fulfill a destiny that is calling at you so much that you don't even know about. And you mustn't allow anybody born of a man or a woman to take that away from you ever. Because you're a daughter of the Most High God, you're a son of the Most High God, and you matter. You're important, you're significant. And so don't allow anybody to dim your glow or your shine or whatever, or your light. Don't let anybody zap away the living daylights out of you in the name of some marriage. Any marriage that isn't giving you peace of mind. And I'm not here to say that marriage is a bed of roses. Every day is a happy day. You always be partying. That is unrealistic. But any man that really knows and understands what marriage is a protector, provides, respects, and professes you. If those things are not in place, my sister, you are not in the right place. Any man born of a woman that doesn't love you, doesn't respect you, doesn't profess you, is not there to protect you, no matter what. Washing your dirty linen in public. My sister, you better think again. Happy New Year, my darling Akosia Williams. How are you, darling? Anybody, and it goes the other way too. Any wife of yours that doesn't value what you bring to the table as a man, respect you, and will do everything for you. And it goes both ways. It's not that the woman has to respect the man, but the man can say whatever the hell he wants to her. I don't believe in that. I have seen marriages that have lasted 6 decades and some, so I know that when the right people are in the right place, wonderful things can happen. In another 2 or 3 years, my own parents, the people that gave birth to me, would have been together for 5 decades. They knew each other as teenagers. They are now on their 7th floor, and they would have been together for 5 whole decades. They all have amazing stories to tell. It is not a bed of roses. A marriage is work. It's work, oh, it's work that the pair of you have to be committed to doing. It is not my job as the wife to keep the marriage going by myself. I'm not married to a tree. I'm married to another person. So the marriage is between 2 people who both want the marriage to work. But what do we see? A lot of the times, some of my brothers make it look as if the marriage is so important to you, the woman, and you have to make it work. So even when he's misbehaving, you have to overlook it and make it work. Even when he's giving you woto, you have to ignore it and make the marriage work. It does not work like that. It is work that both people have to do. It is not to one person. Both of you have to make it happen. It's as simple as that. And if you're not prepared to do the work, if you're not prepared to commit time and effort to make it happen, don't bother. Do not bother. Don't bother. I am the man of the house. I am the man of the house. Why should I do this? And why should I do that? Well, you chose to be married. And marriage is work. And so as long as you've chosen work, you have to make it work and make it happen. It's as simple as that. Today we're all here talking about this woman and why she left her marriage and why she's telling other people to stay in theirs and blah, blah, blah. My final word is very simple. There can be nobody that knows your marriage more than you know it for yourself. If you know in your heart of hearts that you've done everything humanly possible to make your marriage work, and it's not working, you know that you've done everything. You've poured your last on the table and it's not working. And moving on is what is going to give you peace of mind, keep you alive. My sister, my brother, do it. I'm not here promoting divorce because it's not a nice thing. It's not. That's the truth. But having life, being alive, and healthy is more important than marriage. That is the truth. From what I read in scripture, I just can't bring myself to believe that God wants you to punish yourself in marriage because for better, for worse. And it's not a bed of roses. Difficult days come. If you are living with a man, and when you have the time of your month, and you're bleeding excessively, the man says, I can't even sleep on the same bed. What is this disgusting thing that you have done? This person is not ready for marriage. A lot of the times, my brothers want us to sit with them when they have stroke and all kinds of things and they are sick. But when your wife has headache or she's vomiting, you pack a bag and you leave the house. You only come back home when your wife is well enough. Yeah, because then you know you can get mama and papa. Very selfish attitude. Marriage is work. It is. Sometimes husbands, you have to bathe your wife because she just can't do it. It's all part of the marriage. Just as sometimes the wives have to bathe you too because it's part of the marriage. Marriage is what makes you see all the things that are behind the curtains that everybody else doesn't see. You will see it. Yeah, when he does number 2 and is stinking, you will see it. It's part of marriage. Yeah, when the time of her month comes and is oozing and there are clots everywhere, you will see it behind the curtains. This is all part of the marriage. When your children do number 2 and their nappies and and you have to clean that, it's all part of marriage. If you can understand that it's between 2 people who are working to make everything work out, yeah, you're ready for marriage. Convenience lifestyles of our era. Well, you know, if you don't feel that you're ready for marriage, it's not by force. Let's just put that out there too. There are some people who I've met who say, you know what, this whole thing, marriage, is too much for me. I can't handle it. I can't deal with it. I don't want it. I don't want to be married. At least they are honest. But what is worse is the people who claim that they're going to be your ride or die, whether it's a man or woman. I'll be by your side, everything. Then when it comes down to it, you can't or you don't want to. Today, there are so many of my sisters too. All you want, the whole reason for why you want to be married is because you think the man is poverty alleviation fund. You are seeing the poverty from your great-grandmother's generation and you are just looking for a man to come and fill that for you. Not because you really want to be married. I think in marriage, whatever happens, the man is still boss. This is not about bossiness. You see, these are some of the things that get my blood pressure jacked up. This is not about bossiness. You see, when you know how to love and respect your woman, your wife, and you do what needs to be done as a man, you don't have to be asking for bossiness. It just happens automatically. But some of my brothers are asking for boss, but you are not the boss of anything. You are not the boss of nothing. How can you claim to be a boss of something when you are the boss of nothing? Some of my brothers also want to eat your cake and have it. You want your woman to work. You want her to bring money home. You want her to look after the children. You want her to be everything. And then you also want her to be submissive to you. Like, how is it going to work? If you give a woman respect and you love her, you treat her as a partner, as a co-equal, I'm telling you that there will be no need for bossiness. In my house, in the whole 40-something years that I was there, and I'm still there, I have never heard my father crying out, I am the boss of the house. I am the man of the house. I've never heard it before. We all know that he's the man of the house. We know. His wife knows. He knows himself. Why? Because there's no such competition about who should be boss and who should be secretary and who should be anything. This is a home. This is our marriage. What are we going to do to make the marriage work? It's as simple as that. A lot of my brothers are carrying this whole submission, respecting, like, it's something. It's the oxygen that you're breathing. But you're not even doing the things that will accord you this respect in the first place. You alone, you can't keep your home going. You can't pay for everything. So your wife has to help you. So if your wife goes to work from 6 p.m. at night to 6 a.m. the next morning, you go to work at 9 in the morning, come back at 5 at night, 8-hour job, 12-hour job. Let's say your wife is a nurse, let's say. And you are whatever, you are the CEO, you are a boss, you are whatever. You still want your wife, when she comes back at 6 in the morning, to come and bathe the children, dress them up, take them to school, bring them back, cook your yeye dinner, everything, and give you mama and papa before she goes back to work. Are you being reasonable? Husband, are you being reasonable? If your wife cooks and you wash dishes, what is wrong with that? But some of my brothers, I should wash plates so that my wife will come and think that I'm domesticated and I'm stupid. Wash plates. How can a man wash a plate? So you're treating your wife as if she's your slave, she's your house girl, she's your baby making machine, she's the mother of your children, she's a wife, she's your sex slave in your bed too. And you expect this person to be happy with you and give you respect and make you the boss. Like, sometimes we just have to reason these things out. One thing I will tell you for a fact, and I'm not saying that because of the things that I'm saying, this is how every home is or should be. I know. But I'm just giving an example because that was the environment that I was raised in. I can only talk about the things that I saw growing up. In the whole 40-something years that my parents have been married, my mom has only washed my father's clothes maybe 2 times. I'm not lying. He washes his own clothes. He dries them. He irons them himself. Doesn't want anybody to do nothing for him. Ex-military. He doesn't, like, he's been trained to realize that, he has to take care of himself. Yeah, my wife must cook my dinner. Okay, but my father can cook. When he comes to me to visit me, I remember when I was in England, he just get out of my kitchen. He has come to see me and he's telling me to get out of his kitchen. Okay, yeah, I'm on holiday. Who cares? Daddy's girl, daddy wants to make me dinner. Why not? I enjoyed it. Don't you think that any man that supports his wife in some kind of way like that would have a happy home? My dad has changed nappies. He has bathed children, even his grandchildren. Takes them to school, do homework. Which wife wouldn't want this? It's not to say he's flawless, but at least he is present in the marriage. How many of my brothers have ever changed their daughter's diaper? If you've changed your daughter or your son's diaper since you've been married, raise your hand. I want to see you. There are not many. You want your wife to clean them, bathe them, dress them up. Yeah, when they are looking nice, you want to drive them around and, get all the fans. Look at my son. Yeah, your wife's hair is, your daughter's hair is nicely done. Your son has been shaved nicely. You want to go around town showing everybody your children. Do you do homework? Do you even know which class your son or daughter is? No. But you are the boss of the house. I'm the man of the house. You have to respect me. How many PTA meetings have you gone to? How many? How many? Have you seen your wife's underwear before? You have washing machine. When you are washing your things, Have you brought your wife's laundry basket and say, you know what, I'm washing these things. It's not even up to the whole machine. So let me just put some of my wife's stuff in there and wash it too. Have you done some before, Uncle? You haven't done it before. But you want respect. Yeah, you're the boss. You're the man of the house. But you've never touched your wife's lingerie before. You've never washed it before. Is she not your wife? Are the two not one? But when you take your boxer shorts and you kick it under the couch with your socks, your dirty, smelly socks that you wore the same thing for the last 3-4 days, you want your wife to wash that one and be quiet. And still, you are the boss of the house. Look, it takes two to tango, you know. It takes two to tango. The fact that your wife is not complaining, she's not saying anything, does not mean she's not tired. If you don't want your wife to get tired and fed up with you, you better start picking up yourself and doing little things around the house. And you will see that your whole marriage will change because of that. You want your wife to lie in bed with you and spend the morning with you so that you can give her some other 3 rounds. But your wife is lying in that bed knowing that she still has to make breakfast, clear the table, take your son for piano lesson, take the daughter to math class, come back, go to the market. Especially those of us who live abroad. Go to the African market, buy all the egusi and everything, pounded yam, blah, blah. Come home and cook for you. What are you doing the whole time? Watching Premier League with your friends. And you have some beer and some Guinness and some Afrobeat in the background. And your wife is walking around like a headless chicken, doing everything. Is this marriage? Is it fair? Some of my sisters, you don't want to work. Just want to sit at home. And your husbands will do everything. Bring the money out to the house. And then you go and fix weave on. And you do makeup. And you do everything. Yeah. And when your husband says he doesn't have money or you can't afford it, you get mad. You have 10 fingers and 2 hands. Why don't you also get out there and join the workforce and work hard and make money so that you understand what it takes to have money? Why? Why don't you get out there too? You've been home all your life. And some of you make the, but my husband says I shouldn't work. And you also bought it. You also bought it that he says you should not work. So you also agreed. And now he's there, you know, slaying with the young girls out there. Because you know why? He goes to work and they're all dressed up in this skirt suit and whatever. And they're working. And you, when he comes home, what does he come home to? You're watching a Nigeria movie. And you're sitting at home. Doing nothing. Gossiping with your friends on the phone. And my husband this. As for me, last month, my husband even took us all to France for our anniversary. And now we're going to Dubai next month. Even if you must be a housewife, can't you do some small home online business? Something that is bringing little money to you. Must you call your husband when there's no salt in the house? Must you? Can't you also buy small little things around the house? It gives you clout. It gives you regard and respect. And let me tell you one last thing. As a man or woman in a marriage, if you leave the house, maybe you go on a trip or something, and the husband doesn't miss you, the wife doesn't miss you, this marriage is on shaky ground. You have to have made some kind of an impact on this person, that when they sit down and they look at their lives, they ask themselves, wow, if this woman hadn't come into my life, I don't know how my life would have been. If this man was not in my life, I don't know how this life would have been. My brother, didn't you just hear me giving woto to the sisters that are sitting at home doing nothing and spending my brother's money? Did you hear me or did you not? This thing is a two-way street. It is not the man's responsibility, neither is it the wife's responsibility. It takes two to tango, and I've said that a million times. A word to the wise, now enough. If you want your marriage to stand the test of time, it is all about what it is that you bring to the table. If your wife goes away and there's nothing to miss about her, she doesn't, you can live without her. Why is she your wife? Likewise, if your husband leaves the house and it's like, oh, good riddance to bad rubbish, then what's the point of him being there? But if as soon as your wife drives out of your parking lot, oh my God, AC is not going to be here to make, if AC were here by this time, she would have just dealt with this thing like nothing. She would have called these people and have sorted this thing out. There's value. There's something that AC is bringing to the table that you are now missing. Likewise, if my husband were here now, it's snowing outside. He would have cleared the snow. Now I have to go and find a shovel and clear the snow myself. You're missing your husband, because if he were there, you wouldn't have to go through half of the things that you are now going through. That is a responsible man and a responsible woman. That is what marriage is all about. So for somebody to decide that they don't want this and to leave, it means that none of the things I'm talking about are happening. In fact, they are deteriorating. There are some women who have become shells of themselves. They don't have no self-belief. They don't have any self-esteem. They don't have anything. Because their husbands have degraded them so much. Their wives have insulted the husbands so much that they don't even think they are worth being alive anymore. And that is why people decide it's better for us to go our separate ways. I'm trying to remember the title of the movie, but I can't remember it. If I remember it, I'll put it in the comment section. I'm about to jump off this live video. But there was a Nigerian movie that I watched over the Christmas break, and the woman was married to the guy, and they had 2 children. All of a sudden, after 7 years of marriage, the man says he's tired. The wife has become too fat. She's had children and she's allowed herself to become fat. He stopped her from working. She became a housewife, and she was wearing all these long, flowy, boo-boo kind dresses all the time. And he's fed up with it. And the wife begged that she would change. She said everything. Husband said no. Okay. So he went and ended the marriage and brought in a younger model, who is always dressed up in hot pants and this thing with her cleavage showing and this, that, and the other. Okay. Then soon after he got married, the new wife said that he wanted the husband to change his will and put her and her children that she will have later on his will, and remove the first wife's children from the will. On their way to go and do it, they had a motor accident. The man became paralyzed from his waist down, and the woman only had a miscarriage. She was pregnant and she had a miscarriage. Now that the man is wheelchair bound, the new madam says she can't do anymore. Clean him up. He would do number 2 on himself, mixed in with number 1, and he has to now wear diapers. And oh no, that's not why she came to the marriage. So she left him. And now the man's mother had to move in to be the one to take care of him. All of a sudden, he remembered his first wife. And now he wanted his first wife to come back home and stay in the marriage with them. When the wife heard that the ex-husband was unwell, she came. But when she came back as a very new woman. When she went away back to her mother's house, she got a job, put her children through school and all of that. And she had learnt her lesson. So she came back a different woman. The man thought he could still order her about, I don't want you to work. I want you to quit your job so you can take care of me. He said, hey, you think we are still living in that time? That time has long gone. No, this is a new me. He wasn't listening. He was being horrible and all of that. Oh, the woman gave him some good woto. Like she just ignored him and just carried on with her life. When he had had enough of it, she packed bag and baggage and went back and married somebody else. What's the moral of the story? Sometimes we sit in marriages and think that the pastures are greener on the other side of life. There will always be somebody that is more beautiful than your wife. More intelligent, more light skin, more dark skin, slimmer, bigger, shorter, taller, whatever. Have bigger nyash, bigger bobby, bigger everything than your wife. And there will always be that man that is taller, 6-pack. He has a good smile. He looks handsome. Everything. More money than your own husband. If you don't learn contentment in marriage or in life, you will bite your nose to spite your face. If you're not satisfied with your lot, and there are some men and women who have lived this life and it has destroyed their lives. This is my last word for today. Oh, this woman is better than my wife. I don't want you anymore. Let's get a divorce. Go and bring that one in. Oh, this one too. What did I see? No, this one too is not good for me. You go and bring another one. And you keep going and going and going and going, forgetting that there is never going to be perfection out there for you. Be satisfied with your lot in life. Do what you can to make the marriage survive. But if there is DV, if there is, whether it's verbal, physical, sexual, whatever, and it's not a safe space for you, my sister, leave. My brother, leave. Use this thing and leave. Outside of that, if there is something that you can work on, if it is something that can be worked on, work on it. But if after you've done all of that, leaving is the leaving. Leave and have your peace. This is my own on this whole subject. I cannot be living with a man that cheats on me every day and tells me they are sorry and go back to do the same thing again and again and again in the name of I'm sorry. One time mistake, na mistake. If you repeat it again, it's a decision that you have made. That's what you want to do. That is just you. And it's fine. I can take myself out and you can go and do your thing happily. I don't have to be a part of it. It's as simple as that. Do you. Do what works for you. But my brother and my sister, I will much rather have you alive and well. So we can sit here and have this conversation and be happy and be excited together. You can say it, I can say it back. We can agree to disagree and be happy in this space than for you to be 6 foot under. Please, I don't have any more tears this year to cry for anybody. I don't want to hear anybody in DV situation anymore. Leave and have your peace. A word to the wise is enough. Me, I've said my own. Do what works best for you. But if you stay and you end up 6 foot, I'm not coming for your funeral. I won't come because I've said it all. If that's what you choose, I can't do anything about it. But I'm not coming. I won't shed a tear for you. oh, but what will people say? You know, maybe it's my fault. There is no excuse. Leave and have your peace. Marriage is not some kind of a passport or ticket that we are taking to heaven. It is better for you to stay alive and fulfill the destiny that God gave you than to be 6 foot under before your time. A word to the wise is enough. I love you all so much. I'm so excited that we've been able to have this conversation. Pick your own from what I said and make informed decision for yourself. Me, I choose peace over everything. I choose peace over marriage. Any marriage that does not give me peace, I am not spending another day in that marriage. I don't care who it is. I just want my peace of mind. If you love me for me. If you cannot love me, leave me alone. Leave me alone. It's as simple as that. I love you so much. Have a fantastic day, week, new year. Think about your own life and see whether these things that you're doing, whether it's helping your mental health, whether it's saving your life or not. Go and reassess your situation. Maybe there's something you're not doing right. Maybe you need to go and sit with your spouse and have a serious conversation about what needs to happen for the two of you to be happy. Life is short, oh. Life is short. Make that decision for yourself and live your life. But there can be nothing worse than domestic violence in your marriage. The place that you're supposed to be at peace becomes a place where you're at your worst. A word to the wise is enough. I love you all. Have a lovely day. And Sister Margaret says, don't ignore the red flags at the very beginning. That is what sets the tone for everything. Some of us are so, in a hurry to get married because, that's a conversation for another day. What are the red flags that we should be avoiding? We should be looking out for. They are always glaring, but we avoid them. We don't want to talk about them. Message for another day. But for today, I love you so much. Look after yourself. Seek peace of mind. Health in your mind. Mental health of your mind in everything that you do. Have a fantastic day. God bless you so much. Thank you so much for being here. The name is always Sika. You know me. I love you. Mwah. Bye.